All right, so today we're diving into some excerpts from The Glass Girl,
Ooh, interesting.
yeah, by Kathleen Glasgow.
Okay.
Um, and I think this is going to be really interesting just to get into the character of Bella
Okay.
and kind of get a feel for her world.
Mm.
But we're not going to spoil anything.
Right.
We're just going to kind of give people a taste so they'll want to read the whole thing themselves.
Yeah, I like that, like a little appetizer.
Yeah,
The
exactly.
literary appetizer.
So in the beginning, we meet Bella, and she's a teenager living in Tucson. And she's
Oh.
dealing with a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the ways she copes with this is by drinking vodka.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And it's not just like having a glass of wine, with dinner or something.
Right.
It's like a serious thing that she's doing.
Yeah.
She's buying it from strangers and hiding it from her friends and family.
So it's like a really intense
Yeah,
relationship with alcohol.
exactly.
Yeah.
And one of the things that stood out to me in the excerpts was how matter-of-fact she was about it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was just like a part of her day.
Wow.
Like buying milk at the grocery store.
It was a chore almost.
Yeah, and it just kind of shows how deeply ingrained this coping mechanism is.
That's a good point. Yeah, it's become so normalized for her.
Yeah, and so there's this real internal struggle that she has
Okay.
trying to appear normal,
Right.
but also just this urge to escape from all this emotional pain.
Yeah, and that's something I think a lot of people can relate to.
Oh, absolutely.
Even if you've never dealt with addiction.
Right.
We all have those moments where we just want to run from our problems.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, we were talking about how she's hiding it from her friends and family,
Right.
but there's this incident at a party,
Okay.
and her memory is kind of fragmented, so we don't really know what happened.
So there's like a mystery.
Yeah, and there's this boy, Dylan, who's clearly important to her,
Mm-hmm.
but the details are kind of hazy,
Mm.
and it makes you wonder
Yeah, what happened?
what happened during those lost hours.
Right.
What is she hiding?
Exactly. And it makes you want to keep reading to find out.
Exactly, yeah.
Like Kathleen Glasgow is a good writer.
Yeah, she is. She's really good at that kind of suspense.
Yeah.
So, in addition to Bella, we also meet some of the other people in her life.
Okay, so who are the other characters?
Yeah, so there's Amber, who's her best friend,
Okay.
and she's kind of concerned about Bella,
Yeah, right.
And then there's Kristen, who's more the party girl.
Okay.
And then there's this other girl named Shree, who's kind of a wild card.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and then there's her family, too. So
Mm-hmm.
she has a pretty strained relationship with her dad, and she feels like she has to deceive her mom.
Oh, wow. So there's a lot of tension there.
Yeah, and then there's her grandmother, Laurel,
Okay.
who's passed away, but she's really important to Bella.
Oh, how so?
So she was kind of a source of comfort for Bella,
Mm.
someone who really understood her.
Okay.
But she also introduced Bella to alcohol at a young age.
Oh, wow. That's complicated.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a really complex relationship.
It is.
And so it makes you wonder, was Bella seeking the same escape that her grandmother found in alcohol?
Right. Or is it like a rebellion against her in
Yeah.
a way?
It's hard to know, but it definitely adds this other layer to the story.
Yeah, for sure. And so it makes you think about the impact of family
Right.
on,
Okay.
addiction and coping mechanisms.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And then things kind of escalate.
Okay.
And Bella ends up at Sonoran Sunrise, which is a rehab center in the Arizona desert.
Oh, wow. So it's getting serious now.
Yeah, and this is where the story takes a really interesting turn.
Okay. I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
So Sonoran Sunrise isn't your typical rehab facility.
How so?
Well, they have this unique approach.
Okay.
They encourage self-sufficiency through things like caring for farm animals.
Really?
Yeah, and they have communal living and therapy sections.
So it's like a holistic approach.
Exactly. It's not just about, treating the addiction. It's about treating the whole person.
Yeah, I like that.
And there are all these other characters at Sonoran Sunrise.
Okay, like who?
Well, there's Fran, a counselor,
Mm-hmm.
and Chuck, the gym instructor, who's kind of tough but encouraging.
Right.
And then there are all these other teenagers
Mm-hmm.
who have their own stories of addiction and trauma.
Wow. So it's like a whole community.
Yeah, and it creates this sense of shared experience.
Yeah, definitely.
They're all in this together.
Yeah,
But the question is, does Bella embrace the help
right.
or does she resist it?
That's a good question.
Yeah, and that's something that we'll explore more in the next part of our deep dive.
All right. Well, I can't wait to hear more about that.
Yeah, it's going to be good.
Awesome.
So, we were talking about how Bella is struggling with this addiction.
Yeah. Huh?
But one of the things that Kathleen Glasgow does so well
Mm.
is she really pulls you into Bella's head.
Right.
Like you can feel her anxiety, her
Yeah.
vulnerability, this
Mm.
need to belong,
Right.
even as she's pushing people away.
It's true, and even the little details,
Yeah.
like the way she describes her art teacher's hair, like
Yes.
all wild and everything, it just adds to that
Right.
feeling of intimacy.
Yeah, you're right there with her,
Yeah.
experiencing the world through her eyes.
Exactly.
And speaking of school, high school is just a total minefield for her.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Like just the pressure to keep up with assignments, the awkwardness of social situations.
Right.
I mean, it's something I think we can all relate
Well,
to.
totally, even if we haven't
Yeah.
dealt with, the things that she's going through.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's this one part where she misses a deadline for an art project
Oh.
because her dad's Wi-Fi is being wonky.
Oh, yeah.
And it seems like a small thing.
Right.
But for Bella, it's just this massive meltdown.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So like a trigger.
Yeah. And it just shows that recovery isn't this straight line.
That's not linear.
It's not linear, exactly.
Yeah.
There are going to be setbacks. And even little things can feel like the end of the world.
It's like she's walking a tightrope,
Yeah.
and the wind is always blowing.
That's a great analogy.
Thanks.
And then there's Cherie. Oh, man.
What about her?
Talk about betrayal.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's just this whole other layer of hurt and disappointment in Bella's life.
Right. It really makes you think about who you can trust,
Yeah.
especially when you're already feeling so vulnerable.
Right.
Yeah.
Like even in a place that's supposed to be supportive.
Like with your friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's heartbreaking,
It is.
but it's also realistic,
True. The world isn't always a kind place.
Right.
Yeah.
But even in the midst of all this darkness,
Mm.
there are these little glimmers of light.
Okay, tell me about the light.
Okay, so there's Dawn,
Okay.
who's this quiet classmate,
Mm-hmm.
and she offers Bella this genuine connection.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. And then there's Josh,
Okay.
who's a boy from rehab,
Mm-hmm.
and their relationships are kind of just hinted at
Right.
in these excerpts, but you can feel the potential there.
Yeah. So it makes you wonder,
Yeah.
are these the kind of connections that she needs?
Right. Or are they going to pull her back?
Right.
You know.
Into old habits.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so there's this scene at another party.
Okay.
This time it's at Carter's house.
All right.
And you can literally feel Bella's internal struggle.
Mm-hmm.
Like the temptation is so strong.
Oh, yeah.
Just holding your breath, hoping she makes the right choice.
Right.
And Kathleen Glasgow doesn't tell us what happens right away.
Of course not.
But you just know something's going to go down.
Yeah.
The atmosphere is so thick with tension.
Yeah, she's good at that.
She is.
Yeah.
And well, something does happen.
Okay.
Bella ends up in the hospital.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it's a real wake-up call.
Wow.
Like a stark reminder of how far she's fallen.
Right. She hit rock bottom.
Yeah, and it's like the only way to go is up from here.
Right.
So this is kind of a pivotal moment.
Yeah.
She's forced to confront the consequences of her actions. And it's not pretty.
No.
But it sets the stage for her time at Sonoran Sunrise.
Right. Okay, so back to rehab.
Yeah.
And we were talking about how it's different than a typical rehab.
Exactly. It's all about self-sufficiency,
Yeah.
facing these uncomfortable truths.
Right.
And Bella is surrounded by other teenagers
Mhm.
with their own stories
Yeah.
of addiction and trauma.
It's like they're all pieces of a puzzle.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
And they all fit together
Yeah.
to create this picture of what addiction and recovery is like.
It's a community.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then there's Fran the counselor.
Oh, yeah. We were talking about her before.
Yeah, she's amazing.
She is.
She's firm but compassionate.
Mm-hmm.
And you can tell she really cares about these kids.
Yeah, she's like their guide.
Yeah.
Through this whole process.
Yeah, the therapy sessions are really powerful.
Oh, yeah.
You get these glimpses into their struggles and their hopes.
Right. And they're all sharing their experiences
Yeah.
with each other.
And Bella's resistant at first.
Of course.
She's angry.
Yeah.
She's hurt.
Yeah.
She doesn't want to be there.
Right.
But slowly you start to see these cracks in her armor.
Okay. So she starts to open up.
Yeah. She connects with Brandy.
Okay.
She starts to participate in the chores.
Uh-huh.
She even completes this fire challenge,
Oh, wow.
which sounds pretty intense.
What is that?
I don't know. We don't really get the details.
Oh, okay.
But it sounds like a big deal.
It does.
So it's like watching a flower slowly bloom,
Yeah. Oh.
She's still fragile,
Yeah.
but she's starting to open up
Right.
to the possibility of a different life.
That's beautiful.
But of course there are setbacks.
Okay. Like what?
Well, Holly disappears.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And it's a huge blow to everyone,
Wow.
especially Bella.
Yeah.
It's a reminder that recovery is fragile,
Right.
and not everyone makes it.
It's a harsh reality.
It is.
Yeah.
And it really shakes Bella.
I bet.
You can feel her fear and vulnerability resurfacing. It's a reminder that addiction isn't a game.
No.
The stakes are high.
They are.
And then there's this bombshell.
Oh, what now?
It turns out that another girl, Charlotte, has been manipulating Bella.
What?
Yeah, she's been sabotaging her progress.
Oh my gosh.
I know, it's this brutal betrayal,
That's awful.
especially coming from someone she thought she could trust.
Right. So now Bella's like
Yeah.
feeling even more alone.
Yeah, betrayed.
Yeah.
Disillusioned.
It just goes to show that
Yeah.
even in a place like that,
Yeah,
people can still hurt you.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's a harsh lesson, but a necessary one.
It is.
So the excerpts end with Bella going back home,
Okay.
ready to face the real world.
Wow.
But it leaves you on this cliffhanger,
Right.
wondering, will she stay sober?
Yeah.
Will she find her way?
You've got to read the book to find out.
You do.
Yeah.
Okay, so Bella's back home.
Back to reality.
Yeah. But it's not exactly a happy homecoming.
Right.
She's trying to pick up the pieces, but it's tough.
Yeah. I bet.
It's like walking on eggshells.
Mm.
Her family's trying,
Mm-hmm.
but they just don't get it.
Right. Like they haven't been through
Yeah.
what she has.
Exactly. And school is a total minefield.
Oh, yeah.
And even breathing feels complicated.
So it's like that support system she had at Sonoran Sunrise.
Yeah.
It's gone now. And
Right.
she has to face all those triggers on her own.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's not just the external pressures.
Yeah.
She's struggling with this internal stuff too.
Okay, like what?
When she's bored
Mm.
and she feels this emptiness where the addiction used to be.
Right. So it's like she's learned to swim,
Yeah.
but now she's been thrown into the ocean.
Oh, wow. That's a good analogy.
Without
a life preserver.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then there's the family dynamics.
Oh, boy.
Her mom is trying,
Okay.
but it's more about controlling Bella's behavior
Mm-hmm.
than actually understanding her.
Right. So there's this disconnect.
Yeah, this total inability to communicate.
Yeah. And it just shows how addiction impacts everyone.
Right.
Not just the person struggling.
It's like a ripple effect.
Exactly. And then her dad,
Ugh, I know.
he relapses.
Which is just devastating
It is.
for Bella and for the reader.
Yeah, it's a reminder that addiction
Mm.
is a disease.
Yeah, this chronic struggle.
Exactly.
And then there's Dylan,
Oh, Dylan.
this blast from the past,
Right.
trying to reconnect.
Oh, he's bad news.
He is.
Yeah.
Their relationship was toxic,
Right.
and it just feels like he's trying to pull her back into that darkness.
Yeah, like those old patterns.
Exactly.
Those unhealthy relationships.
But Bella does something really powerful.
What's that?
She blocks his number.
Wow, good for her.
I know it's a small gesture,
Right.
but it speaks volumes.
It does. It shows that she's choosing herself.
Exactly.
Putting her well-being first.
There's this intense scene
Okay.
where she confronts her dad about his drinking.
Oh, wow.
She sets boundaries,
Good.
makes it clear she won't be around him if he's drinking.
It's a huge step.
It is.
Yeah.
It shows how committed she is
Right, to her own sobriety.
to her own recovery, yeah.
Yeah.
And she takes another big step.
What's that?
She decides to go to a teen support group.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, she's not trying to do this alone.
Right.
She's reaching out.
Yeah, building that community.
Yes,
support.
and the group meeting is so raw,
Yeah.
so honest.
Mm-hmm.
These kids are sharing their stories.
It's powerful.
It is
Yeah.
offering advice,
Right.
supporting each other.
It's a reminder that you're not alone
Exactly.
in your struggles.
And remember, recovery isn't just about
Yeah.
saying no to substances.
Yeah.
It's about finding things that bring you joy.
Yeah, that feed your soul.
Exactly.
And for Bella, that's photography.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, a passion she shared with her grandmother.
Oh.
So in the final excerpts,
Mm-hmm.
Bella's in her shed,
Okay.
surrounded by her photos.
Yeah.
And it's just so hopeful.
It is. You get this sense that she's finding her way,
Right.
rebuilding her life.
It's a beautiful image.
It is.
Yeah.
So there you have it, folks. A deep dive into the world of the Glass Girl.
Wow, what a story.
Yeah, we've explored the darkness of addiction,
The challenges of recovery.
but also the power of resilience
The beauty of human connection.
and the importance of finding hope,
Yeah.
even in the most difficult circumstances.
Absolutely.
And remember, these are just excerpts.
Right?
The full story,
With all the detail.
with all the nuances,
Yeah.
awaits you in the pages of The Glass Girl.
To go check it out.
I encourage you to dive in and experience Bella's journey for yourself.
Yeah, you won't regret it.
And until next time, folks, keep diving deep.